Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I am joined by two beautiful people who first of all are my friends and are the two co-authors of Taking Up Space, the first release of Murky Books. Yeah, this is
Aura. Hi, my name is Aura.
And this
Chelsea.
is I say we're going to be doing my infamous chit chat, get ready with me's. And we're going to be talking about the book. We're going to be talking about post-graduation. We're going to be talking about all juicy stuff. So let's get straight into it.
Let's get into it.
So ladies, whilst we're at university, because we all went to the same uni, same year, did you ever suffer from imposter syndrome?
I think I did, 100%. I spent so much of my first maybe 6 months at Cambridge trying to be someone who I wasn't. And I think everyone suffers from imposter syndrome in some kind of way, but when you're a black woman, it's doubly kind of hard because it's racialized and gendered in the way that you experience university.
Right.
And I think I just remember feeling like I hadn't found my people and I was trying so hard to be someone else just in that space. So
What about you, Charles?
Do you know, I think I was the same, but it wasn't just about the people, but it was everything else telling me that I was an imposter. Like, we weren't represented on curriculums.
Yeah.
You go to like these places and no one looks like you. So you have physical examples of how you literally are an imposter in like the literal sense.
And like how you just don't fit.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
No, I definitely felt that as well, and I think it wasn't until I found ACS, I think,
that
I started to feel like
that's the African Caribbean Society,
African Caribbean Society, and it was just a great place to find, like you said, like finding people that actually look like you and then remind you that hey, maybe I actually do belong here.
Yeah, exactly.
But imposter syndrome is so real.
Oh yeah, massively.
So real.
But then I don't know, did you find before you went to Cambridge that imposter syndrome was there, but just in terms of thinking, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm definitely not going to get in, like, definitely beforehand.
Because you have this preconceived notion of what Cambridge is like.
Yeah, exactly.
The sort of person that goes there and then you don't fit into that mould.
I think, and in my academia chapter of Taking Up Space, I spoke a little bit about how I felt that the imposter syndrome had sunk in from the interview stage.
Right.
I remember feeling, again, I was the only black person who was at that day of interviews for my subject, and my interest, they were all reading this one book about like lots of politics, lots of like historical, pretty UK, Western-centered politics, and that wasn't my interest. And I just remember thinking, like, how am I going to fit in here? Like, maybe they're all going to get in because that's what they're looking for. And I just remember feeling it from before I even got there, which is,
And now we're all Cambridge grads.
Look at that.
That's crazy.
And you know, it's coming up to 1 year since we've graduated as well.
You don't say things like that.
Sorry.
The other day, Chelsea was like, no, we've been friends for 3 years. I was like, actually, we've been friends for 4.
Yeah, for 4 years.
Now,
4 years.
which is kind of crazy.
I don't
We're
know.
adults.
But no, I definitely did find at Cambridge, like the whole idea of black excellence was something that I really struggled with.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because there's so many conversations like on the TL about black excellence, and you find out like an A-level student, probably from Brampton Manor, has got into Oxford or Cambridge, and it's like hashtag black excellence,
I know.
right? And then you've got all this talk about, well, is that, I mean, first of all, do you feel like that put pressure on you?
See, I, again, talk about this in Taking Up Space. For me, that put immense pressure on me. It didn't help me in any way.
Yeah.
I almost felt like I couldn't fail.
Right,
there was no opportunity for trial and error. But just also the ways in which we understand excellence. Like, we see excellence as like, you're often the only black, you're often the only black person in your field who's doing something really well. But half of the time it's just like accommodation, assimilation, you know, navigating these spaces to find all the ways that you can fit in. And I don't know, for me that shouldn't be the definition of excellence. Like, we should be able to be our true selves.
And it is often seen like that. I don't know, I mean, I see it, I don't know about Europe, but like, I see it as it's been too narrowed down to like acceptance into white spaces.
Oh yeah, massively.
And it's like, if these traditionally white spaces accept you, that's black excellence.
Yeah.
You're like at the pinnacle of the black community.
Yeah, it's very true, and I think we have to be careful about that. I also think we need to do more about talking about the instances when we fail. And I know from the outside, I guess it might look like, oh, Orange Chelsea, like you're writing this book and you graduated Cambridge and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
but,
and you have a master's from Columbia.
Oh, yeah, Columbia too.
And you're getting your law degree.
But also, like, before I got into Cambridge, LSE rejected me. And I think I remember thinking, I didn't think I was going to get into Cambridge. I kind of had already resigned that to the back of my mind. And I was like, well, LSE's rejected me. How is Cambridge going to take me?
Right.
And I think from talking more about failures and seeing that as like, it wasn't a failure, it was like this kind of diversion. I didn't understand that God clearly had more in my plan. And like, what is meant to be yours will be yours. So I was too busy crying about rejection and not doing enough to kind of wait to see what was going to happen the day after with my Cambridge offer. So yeah, it's not the end of the world if you don't get into the uni of your dreams, because
certainly not.
Yes, Cambridge was great and nobody is complaining that I went to Cambridge. Like, I did actually eventually love lots and lots of it, but I think remembering that when I got rejected from LSE, I think I was very short-sighted in thinking that that was the end.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world if you don't get into your dream uni. So yeah, we need to talk more about failure.
Yeah.
Especially as black women, it's like you're not allowed to fail in any instance.
Exactly.
And you're not allowed to react to your failure. It's kind of like, oh yeah, get up, you'll be stronger next time. Actually, let me
get on with it. Exactly. Can I process this?
Yeah.
No, 100%. But yeah, again, like, just in terms of mental health, I think that was a massive thing, feeling like you couldn't fail. And for me, personally, I found it really tough to go and talk to lecturers or academics, because I saw them as people who thought, actually, no, let's give her a chance. She should be grateful. Like, we've let one in. That sort of, you know, vibe. So.
And even the media paints it that way. I can't remember how many interviews I've had where it's like, you must feel so lucky, you must be so grateful.
It's not
and it's like,
it's not,
I've been grinding since I was 4.
And I think
trying to get these grades.
It takes away from the achievement to suggest that it was luck or like, thank God they let you in. When actually, no, this is something that you work very, very hard for. And I think it's important that we acknowledge that, and it's not just, oh yeah, you're lucky that they've let you into this space. It's no, actually, we've been working really hard for this and we have been putting in the hours.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Fab. Did I meet you in Freshers Week?
Nah, do you know what? Okay, this is actually quite funny. We all met at the same event. And Courtney, I only realised this afterwards.
See, I don't remember
this. We all
this.
met at that event, the careers event for like high achieving black students before uni.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I met you guys at the very beginning of the event, and I only clocked afterwards because we had lectures together, and I was like, why does she look so familiar? So we all met before uni, just before uni, but then I think our friendship has just like blossomed since.
Definitely.
Look at us little cuties.
In terms of, so before Freshers Week, how did you guys find Freshers Week?
Right, unpopular opinion, but I actually enjoyed Freshers Week.
Can you imagine?
Well, anyways.
Do you know, I think I was just so excited to go to university, to meet people, make friends, that, I don't know, I just had like this energy that I was just up for anything.
Okay.
So I had a good time, and like the people that I met in my first weekend at my college, we're still friends now, which is like nice, but I don't know, I think that's very rare.
Yes.
As in very, very, very rare.
Yes.
So
how about you?
So I, and again, this is something I talk about in Taking Up Space, I actually missed Freshers Week. So I had an accident 5 days before I was moving, frying plantain. I threw the whole pan of oil on myself by accident because I got too excited about my plantain and jollof rice that I was going to eat. And I ended up not coming to Freshers Week. So I was texting Chelsea, like, we had made all these plans since we met at this event. They're like, oh, you know, we're going to go to all these events and blah, blah, blah. Texted Chelsea, I was like, Chelsea, sorry, babes, I can't come. I'm in hospital. And I missed it. So when I came back, I think I felt that I was playing catch up. And I did too much, is classic me. I was really, like, going to all these nights out that I definitely didn't enjoy just to try and fit in. And again, I felt like, oh, I live with all these people and they've clearly made all their like friends and they have these little squads, so I need to get in it. And I was just doing too much, and I just realised that I wasn't being myself. So for me, it wasn't Freshers Week, it was the aftermath that I think for me was quite like unsettling. But I think the fact that we had two different experiences of Freshers Week is very telling. Like, there isn't one way to go about university, right? You might love it, you might hate it. If you do love it, don't feel bad for the bits that you loved. Just because we've written this book, like, we do talk in Taking Up Space about the highs and the lows. And yeah, Freshers Week for me, or the bit that I missed anyway, was a bit of a low, but for Chelsea, it was a bit of a high.
Well, I was on the complete other end of the spectrum. I didn't do a thing. I didn't. I just barely left my room.
Really?
Yeah, I barely left my room.
Why
like,
do you think that was?
Because I came there so like, in the end, we would say I came there Aggie. Like I just came and I was like, I don't really want to talk to anyone. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want to become friends with anybody, because I did make a friend, like singular. But actually, no, I had like 2.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it was these people. I don't want to get to know these people. I don't want them to act like. I don't know. I knew I was going there, and it would feel bare weird about being the only black girl, which I was in my year group and in my whole college, and going there and just being like, oh, let's go and make friends with people. First of all, I went to a very predominantly black school. Yeah. So now going to like a very white space, I didn't want to now go and be like, let's go and, you know, find new friends to make and, you know, and especially I just assumed that I wouldn't get along with them, which was crazy because I ended up making a lot of friends towards the end of 3rd year. But then by then it was like too late. Everyone had their friendship group and I was just imposing. And if it wasn't for ACS, I would have died on that campus. Like, I wouldn't have had any social setting to kind of find myself in.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think one thing that we're hoping Taking Up Space does is it gives people that kind of courage to step out a little bit. Because if I didn't have, our friend Keisha was the one who took me to my first ACS event. Shout out Keish. But if I didn't have her to take me to that first ACS event, I don't know how long it would have taken me to find ACS and to find like my people. Like, yes, I had Chelsea, but Chelsea was at a different college.
So far
and
away.
I think for me, having Keisha there to be like, come, let's go to this event was what I needed to kind of step out and realize that there were spaces that I could kind of be myself. So yeah, I think we're hoping that this book kind of gives people the kind of push that sometimes you need to not just be stuck in your room and staying in your room, because that will take its toll on your mental health as well.
Entirely. Entirely.
Just being kind of like trapped in your room.
But I don't know, for me, I felt it was having different groups and different societies. I understood that they kind of all serve different purposes. So at college, like, I did a lot of sport. So I was on Cambridge University's athletics team, and for that, like, I built a community there. Then football at college, but then also like ACS, and just understanding that there are so many different ways you can find yourself and find friends and find communities. But yeah, completely agree with what Ore says. Like, that's just what we want for the book, to just understand that if you do feel sad or upset, like, that's a normal feeling. You're not the only person who feels like that.
And it's a valid feeling.
And I think, again, just speaking of like validity and like validation, that's, again, we're trying to make sure that black girls who are reading this and who are at university and feeling these things just feel better knowing that we have felt them all too. Whether it's Chelsea and I, or whether that's all the people that we interviewed for the book, chances are there's someone who had one of those feelings, and we kind of communicated that in the book, I think.
That's great.
My eyeshadow's going a bit left over here, by the way, but you know, by the glory of God, it's gonna turn out okay. Sorry.
Your dramatic eyeshadow looks. I remember when we were in.
This is even simple for me.
Was it second year that you were like, Courtney, I'm just watching all these eyeshadow tutorials and I've bought like 1,000 palettes.
I know I even have to give some away because clearly, again, I'd done too much. But yeah, I think it's weird, you know, my relationship with makeup at uni, I feel like is like properly when I got into makeup. Like before that, everyone used to make fun of me, my eyebrows were dead. Now you can never catch me with dead eyebrows. Never. But even just like small things, like I used to do my friend's makeup. Chelsea will come out, like we're going out. Chelsea will be, oh my God, Audrey, can you just do my eyes? And I just like, end up doing her whole face. But like, that was like my little, like, I love makeup, so like everyone else is. And like, that was like a little thing.
That's good.
But I now like love makeup and I'm obsessed.
So you mentioned earlier about like Murky encouraging diversity, particularly in like academic thought and just books in general. What are you guys' thoughts on diversity? Because I have a controversial. I think it's okay. Anyway, before I come and do woo, what do you think about diversity?
See, again, this is something that we definitely touch on in Taking Up Space. Because I feel like you're going to say the exact same thing. I just think now it's probably the worst place to start in terms of if you want to initiate a conversation. Because diversity just means anything non-white now, basically. And I think it's really sad because it's an opportunity to have a really good conversation. But now it's just become like a complete buzzword that people just chuck in.
And it tackles no issues.
Issues. Like, what is diversity? What does, for you guys, what does diversity look like? That's a conversation that we never have.
And also, firstly, because the question no one's asking.
Yeah.
But just on, I think how damaging it can be for like having individuality and individual interests and things to care about, right? Like Adalby, one of our contributors to the book, she said something in, I can't remember which chapter it was, that she feels like a lot of these diversity conversations have meant that her interests are no longer her own. And it's because she's into tech. And what happens is she goes to all these tech spaces and they're expecting that she's coming in wanting to be the diversity person. And she's like, well, actually, I want to be the team lead. And I think the whole idea that like, of course, diversity is important. Like, we need to be having less solely, just exclusively white rooms and spaces. But if you now think that the only reason we're there is to do your dirty diversity work for you, then what purpose does that serve? And I think it's just unfair that like it's assumed that all we care about is just getting black people, as we were saying, getting black people into super white spaces. It's more than that. It's also about the inclusion bit as well. We talk a lot about the diversity bit and not very much about the inclusion bit. What happens when you get to the other side of that door? And
is there like welfare to take care of you?
Exactly.
I think for me, like the diversity issue is complicated because it's like diversity is in actually doing these things rather than just talking about them. So like what you're saying about Adobe, her becoming a team lead, that increases diversity. But her coming and just talking about diversity, it's just like my issues with all these events and panel talks that everyone keeps having because it's like it's not doing anything. It's raising awareness for the issue, which is great, but then it's just talking about it within the same circles. And then these people that come to these panel discussions go back to their workplace and they're like, I'm so clued up on diversity, but there's still no one black that you employ. So what's the...
When you're employing more black people as cleaners and...
Do you get what I mean? And then they'll be sitting in interviews and be like, yeah, I totally understand your struggle, but are you going to hire me? I didn't come here to ask you about my struggle and if you understand. I came to ask, will you give me a job? Because that's what I came here for.
And that's it, you just want to see, and I don't know, I think a lot of it now is it's so easy to, like you say, have a panel, show that, you know, you're doing something. And I think especially for a lot of big corporations and institutions like university, like they're under scrutiny now. So they just want to show that they're doing anything
and everything.
And that might not be specific, it's probably not critical, but you know, a panel talk and that's fine.
We'll show
they'll just kind of exactly, we'll just kind of lump everyone together.
And also sometimes just on these panels they can be a bit tokenistic. If you're just having one for the sake of having one, I don't need to be there. Like, I'm sorry, why? It's not just about having one so you can say, oh, look at how much we're doing. It's about what you're doing afterwards and what you're taking away. So it's not everyday panels. Sometimes actually work. Sometimes actually listen to what we're trying to say. And again, even just on the topic of listening, like a lot of times we get asked, like, what do you want the reaction to your book to be? And we are saying very openly that firstly it's for black girls, but we need everybody to listen to what we have to say. We need everybody to see what our experiences look like, for them to kind of understand what they can do to make our experiences better. Universities need to listen and not just constantly be on the defensive.
Do you think Cambridge is getting better at that?
You know what? And again, this might be controversial. I'm actually going to say yes.
I'm going to say yes as well.
By the end of it, I felt more like, I mean, I had supervisors who were literally asking me, I would complain about a piece in the curriculum and they were like, okay, what do you think we should do better? I've got this meeting coming up and what can we do? I think they're definitely getting better. I see the videos they're putting on their YouTube, right? I can see they're gradually bringing in like black student representatives into things and stuff. So Cambridge, I feel like I can see them getting better, but no one needs to get complacent. It's a small step.
I think for me it was when we were doing the research for the book, you realise that there are a lot of universities getting away with like a lot basically. And it may
have you finished?
No,
now stop. Oh my!
All right, I'm nearly done as well. You need to hurry up.
We have ages. Here's me taking my time. Sorry.
But yeah, seriously, as in like I think, looking into how some universities are getting off. And a lot of the scrutiny is on Oxbridge.
All the time.
Which is really odd. Obviously, I understand why, but like considering most of the student population do not go to Oxbridge, why is that the focus? So
it happens all the time, and I think it's what makes it harder when you're at these like elite institutions or Russell Group or whatever, because it's like the lens is always on you.
Yeah.
And it's like, what qualifies me to even talk about these issues? I really came to just cop a degree and go.
And that's it.
And now suddenly we're caught up in these media storms, and you've got reporters emailing you, and you're thinking, I'm just trying to meet my deadlines.
Chelsea said the other day that someone said...
Oh yeah, I was on a panel. I was on a panel with a really amazing author called Sarah Collins. And she was saying, like, on all of her panels, she always gets the question, like, oh, you know, well, how does it feel to be like a black woman writer, and she just her response now is, I'm not a professional black person. And I could relate so much. Like, I think there's so much pressure, like, as soon as somebody mentions anything to do with, like, Africa or like black politics or like black feminism, anything slightly black, they expect you to be an expert. But sometimes I actually just want to learn. Like I don't know a lot of things. Like I'm still in the process of learning. So
sorry.
There's a conversation I was having with one of my friends. She actually is doing a PhD at CAM, and she was like, one thing she hates is when people ask her, like, why don't you do this? Like, Lynn, why don't you join these black people and do that? And why don't you do... And she's like, because the whole thing we're trying to run away from with diversity and with, like, just politics in general is believing that, like, the black experience is this monolithic experience. And so even if, like, I'm liberated and you're trying to, you know, lump me in with what you consider, like, a positive stereotype, it's still making us not have our own individuality, and that's what we're trying to achieve, like the right to be free, the right to be individuals. And so sometimes people don't allow you to do that when you're black. It's like, oh, Ore's just like Courtney, Courtney's just like Chelsea, and if we need any of them, we'll just, because they'll have the exact same views. But it's like, no, we disagree. We have freedom to disagree with each other, and we're allowed to.
And I think, again, that's one reason why in Taking Up Space we made sure that we incorporated the experiences of lots of different women and non-binary people, because it's like, well, okay, yes, Chelsea and I can speak for days about the experiences that we had, but like also there are people out there who had different experiences to us who don't agree with us. Down to the very end of the book where we ask our interviewees whether or not they think that university was worth it. There's a plethora of answers that you get, and I think you're allowed to feel different things, and you're allowed to kind of have that individuality, which I think we're sometimes denied, right? That there's diversity within blackness as well.
I guess kind of second to last question. What is your advice? We kind of talk about... Well,
second to last, if I can finish this island in time.
All right, we'll come up with something random. But what is your advice for young girls going to Freshers Week? Because it's nearly summer. They're going to be living it up, and then the reality of September/October is going to come around. What is your advice for Freshers Week? Maybe give like 2 key tips.
If you don't want to do anything, don't do it. It's not by force. And I think sometimes I felt like, in the name of, come on, like, don't be like a sports board, don't be that person who's not getting involved. I'll now be doing what I like, things that I definitely just have no business or interest doing, just for the sake of it. Don't feel like you have to do that. Be yourself. Don't apologize for being yourself in those weeks. Or Freshers Week days, however many days you get. We only have 3 days of Freshers Week at Cambridge. Just heads up. Anyway, I get it.
Yeah, it's not really a Freshers Week.
It's not a Freshers Week.
It's not.
It's a Freshers half week. Freshers Week.
It's orientation. Go on, Chelsea.
Probably try and find out as much information as you can about Freshers Week. So I knew beforehand, like our college student union basically sent around like a long email and just told us what we'd be doing. So I think I like kind of prepped for that, like prepped my outfits, what was I gonna wear, and then just understanding like what situations I was gonna be in. Like going to a pub crawl, for example. I don't go to the pub. So I was like, okay.
Not gonna go to that.
Probably gonna skip that. But I'd definitely say, just try and be as prepped as possible. But same as like you guys, if you don't want to do something, don't feel like you have to. That's really important.
And I think one thing I would add as well is just don't be scared. I think sometimes when you go into these spaces, like, you're so scared, first of all, to be like hyper visible, but then at the same time, it's like you will be by default, but then it's like I don't really want to be seen as in like a microscope on me, but I also don't want to hide. Do you get what I mean? Like, I actually want to just have my existence. So I think don't be scared, because I remember reading some stuff before I went to before I was a fresher, and just thinking I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah.
The next 3 years are going to be like hell on earth for me. But don't be scared by like all the stories, because there's been.
You didn't hate us. You didn't hate it because you met us. Sorry.
Is that where we're going with this?
Wow.
Is that how we're spinning the story?
I was going to say she could still hate it.
No, I didn't. No, you know what? I actually did love it because you guys are there. Do you know like some of the fondest memories? No. For the camera. No, I'm joking. No, some of the fondest memories I have is like when I like came rode your hair in first year, when you came over to my room and then we were talking about you wanting to do law and you're not doing it. And and then I went to your room once, I like big chopped, and then you came rode my hair for me, and I was like, and Kenya and stuff were there. Yeah, like
my
it was just the hub. Your house was the hub, like late night jollof rice.
Yes.
Just get a random message from Ori, I've just cooked jollof, do you want to come?
Why
not? It's 3 a.m. It's not like I'm sleeping anyway. It was like, some of our fondest memories were together, actually.
No, that's so true.
And the summer barbecues after, well, not barbecues, but like birthdays, summer.
But this is it though, like, and we do this in the book. I think it's so easy to just focus on the negative.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things were really positive.
Yeah.
And it is those moments that you cherish the most.
Yeah.
Like,
it really is.
Those late nights and just like having a good time and meeting people that you know are going to be friends for life.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what was the question you wanted to ask?
Oh, so I was wondering, Courtney, it's my turn to be interviewer. As a contributor to the book, obviously we interviewed you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Firstly, is there anything that you feel like you missed out? Like in that kind of one interview? Is there anything else that you would add if you had the chance to like do your contributor interviews again?
Wow, could tell you've been to Columbia.
This is a proper journalistic question. Okay, so firstly, I can't really remember. I said a lot in that interview.
Yeah.
You were like on the other phone probably thinking, well, I'll call this a lot. But I don't think there was anything that I particularly missed out, but I think since the interview, having a lot of time to think about it, having read the first draft of the book, spoken to other contributors, and a lot of the contributors in this book are my friends. So speaking to them, you realise that like we put a lot of pressure on ourselves when we were in uni,
100%.
and we were only 18.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're so young and you're trying to, for myself, trying to figure out adolescence, like you're still going through so much hormonally, you're trying to find your own identity. Then I was like, I just gave my life to Christ. In first year I was trying to figure out my faith, and then you've got like health problems, then you've got like 1,000 essays to write all the time, you're trying to make friends and be accepted, and now you're thinking about the whole politics of the world, and like history and politics is on your back. That's a lot to handle as one young person who literally just left secondary school. And I think, thank God, we've all blossomed into really cool people.
Look at us.
But it really could have gone the other way. Like and just in general, I think we as black women, there's just so much pressure on us to have everything figured out. And now after university, when like you're out and everyone's gassed you about being a Cambridge grad and oh my gosh, you're so smart, you then realise I actually don't know anything.
Yeah.
I actually don't know.
Massively. Like that's like the biggest myth. Like we are all still learning.
Exactly.
And I hate when people think that.
Same.
Yeah.
I know so much just because I went to Cambridge.
Yeah.
It's not
or
the case
like
at
this
all.
this like stereotype of like black women being like the pillar of wisdom.
Yeah.
And you must have everything. Give me advice. I'm trying to figure out my life. I've got I'm still missing trains and stuff. Like life is hard to put together at the moment. So I think one thing I would add to the book, especially for the young like women watching this or reading the book, which you definitely should because it's amazing, is don't take things too seriously, number one, and number two, still enjoy your youth, still enjoy the fact that you're an individual person. And one thing I definitely took from my friend that was doing the PhD, she's 25, which is crazy because she's got a PhD, but like thinking to myself, she was like, I need something that I do that allows me to take a step back and just be me. And so for her, she has like this whole tea set, and she'll proper make time in her day to like have tea and sit down by her window and like watch the traffic go by and stuff. And so many people will be like, that's so white. But actually it's not. That's her.
It's self-care.
It's self-care. Do you get what I mean? And so you actually you can afford yourself the time to take care of yourself because actually sometimes the world really fails to do it for us. So if we don't cultivate it in ourselves, No one's going to do it for us. And definitely do it for other people. I thank you so much for allowing me to be in the book, but also just for being great people to me before. Do you get what I mean? Just allow me to come and chill at your house or have banter with you and Joe. Like, it's just it's just one of those things of like, it allows you to actually just take care of yourself and take a step back from being the person that everyone expects you to live up to be. And like, you can say bad things, you can mess up and be like, oh, actually I didn't mean that, and then you've got people around you who are like, it's almost like a sisterhood, who are like, that's calm, you know, you're a normal individual. So that's something that I would add.
Yay, I'm glad.
Thanks.
We're so glad we had you.
Yeah, same.
Anytime.
Guys,
Are you
I
done?
finally finished.
And we all look so beautiful and melanated. Thank you so much for writing this book, for allowing me to do this with you, but also just for starting a new wave, and for creating a good conversation as well. Not just on this table, but hopefully worldwide. And this is the Taking Up Space book, and it comes out June 27th. It's in your best interest to buy this book, but please do support it. Please do support my amazing friends. I'm also in it, so I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for the next few months for you guys. It's gonna be good.
It's getting real. I really hope you will enjoy it.
And thank you so much to Glossy for sending us products to try. Some really good stuff. And please subscribe to the Penguin channel. Please follow Murky Books and buy the book. Subscribe to my channel, and happy reading.
Happy reading.
Perfect.